Hi guys, it's Rhys, and if you didn't know already, it is LGBTQ History Month, and for it I'm going to be talking a little bit about this year's theme and my thoughts on it. So this year the theme is art, so it's all about looking at queer artists throughout time, during the now, and all of the sort of contributions they made to history and who they are and why they're so important. As someone who is an artist myself, and specifically someone who really loves queer art, this theme means so much to me, and I'm so glad I get to talk about this. If you go on their website, they do have their own sort of recommendations for people you should learn about, and their like top 5 artists, I believe. I know that last year they had the top 5 historical figures, but I'm going to be talking about 4 of my favourite artists personally, who I really love and show different queer experiences. You've probably heard of this guy. It is Keith Harring. Keith Harring was around in the 80s, especially during the AIDS crisis, and his style is very popular and very recognizable because after his death he wanted it to continue. So I believe there's no copyright on using his style or using his work, which is really nice. And yeah, so he did a lot more normal pieces, but a lot of them were anti-AIDS, and they're the ones you don't always see, like this one. Next is Gerda Wegener, and to an extent Lily Elba. This here is a painting by Gerda, I believe, of Lily. It's kind of like the Danish girl, except for the Danish girl's really not a good representation of their story. But essentially Lily was a trans woman in Denmark, and she went through a lot of very experimental at the time surgeries to become a woman. And yeah, they just did this art together. She was a model for this queer woman, and just both of their stories and both of their art is just fantastic. Next is Alison Bechdel. I love her comics. She is a lesbian, so a lot of her comics are about being a lesbian and what it was like to be a lesbian in the last 30, 40 years in the past. And they were all made at the time, so they've kind of are a great diary of the past, which I really love, and of what it was like to be a queer woman in a time where it wasn't really that accepted. I know she's also getting a show based on one of her comics soon, which I'm very excited to see. And my all-time favourite, Lion Decker. Lion Decker was an artist who wasn't really out as being queer, but he did all of this beautiful art for magazines and paintings. But as a queer person, you only have to look at his art to see the queer vision behind it. And a lot of things didn't come out to a lot later in his life and after his death. But just looking at his art, it's so beautiful, and you can kind of tell his love for men, which I really love. This video turned out a bit long, but have a good LGBTQ History Month, guys.